HolloTalk podcast. This is Jetpack Nick, and I'm here with a very, very, very special guest today. My guy, my main man, Mr. Vashmere Valentine. Say what's up to the people.
Yo, what up? What up? What up? What up?
How you doing, man?
Chilling. Been good, man. It's good to be on the pod. I've been watching them and seeing what you're doing. I'm a huge supporter of anybody trying to do something big. So, it's good to be here and enjoying the cast because there's some hard hitters on this joint. So,
Yeah,
it's nice to be
yeah.
there.
I mean, I wasn't even going to get into all that right then and there, you know what I'm saying? But, shouts out to me,
Talk
you know what I'm
about it.
saying? I'll be talking to them hitters, you know what I'm saying? I'll be
I
talking
see
to them
that.
people who really about that, who really got some status in with it, whatever it is they do. You know what I'm saying? Some really, really big people, some big names.
I
And
mean,
you on the list now.
I'm on the list. Yeah, I mean,
All right, so for the
we
people
made
who
it.
no, you already know. So for the people who don't know who you are, can you let them know who you are, what you're about, and what you do?
Yeah, so what's up, yo? Vashmere Valentine, and I am a creative consultant, a film director, a screenwriter, and as well as a art photographer.
And my teacher too.
And I'm a mentor, yes. And a mentor.
So I actually want to talk about that to start because I don't know, like if you went into a lot of teaching as far as teaching acting or teaching film or whatever, but I just know that you are a great teacher for me. So shouts out to you. And if you have any other students other than the ones that are in the class I'm in, shouts out to them because they got an amazing teacher.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You
That does.
already
That
know.
means a lot. It means a lot. It means a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
you're dope, man.
Appreciate that. I have a lot of faith in you guys. In the industry that I grew up in, passing the torch isn't really a real thing. Some people may disagree with that, but it's not really. And or they want you to do just some ridiculous amount of things to get that blessing. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I don't believe it. It's like if you have the knowledge and you have the wisdom and you have the understanding, pass it on, let the next person move because they may move faster than you. That's just the way life is. But withholding something from them to try to keep them in a spot or in a place, it's just not, it ain't right. It ain't right.
No, and you being in the position that you're in, as far as being like a teacher of mine and a teacher to the other people who are in the class with me, like I want to say thank you for that because not a lot of people in those positions feel the need to be like, all right, I got the game. I'm just going to give it to to the people, and hopefully they can do whatever it is they need to do with it in order to be successful. Whereas you got some people who like to hold on to stuff and make you go around in circles to get something that they could have gave you on day one and could have
No,
saved you a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of stress, a lot of everything.
yeah, I think most of that is because people fear youth. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that you guys have a lot of and something that we don't. So a lot of times they fear giving you guys certain things because you guys, and in the black community, that's also a big thing. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
let me hold this from you, because I'm going to make sure I eat first, instead of, just pretty much allowing people to eat at the table. And, they may make their own table, their table might be bigger than yours. And that's where I come from. I come from the belief is like, eat at my table because there's plenty of it. If you need to steal food from my table, steal food from my table. It's still not gonna hurt me. My table is right. My cup runneth over. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me? Like
You already know.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Okay, so do you feel like that's something that you've seen a lot, or that you've experienced a lot when you were coming up, or even now, at the position that you're at in film and creatively,
Uh, People doing it like I do it.
or
Mm,
or the opposite way, like people kind
oh
of
yeah, oh yeah,
holding back and not really putting
all
you in a
day,
position to be the best that you could be.
all day. And it's partly because let me put it to you like this. Let's say, for instance, that cap you wearing right now,
Hmm.
right? Let's just say you grew up and that was your heart. That was all you knew. You knew it. It was your style, and everybody else was doing it. So let's say you just figured out everything you could about caps, how to stitch
Mm,
them, how to make them, buy them, how to sell them. And then 20 years from now, everybody told you that them caps wasn't in no more. Now, you personally, because of who you are, you're going to keep making caps.
you already
I know that
know.
without even thinking about it. You're going to make a cap. But there's some cats out of here that feels like they got cheated on because now that's not the thing when they wasted all that time in that.
Hmm.
And if I transfer that over into the film industry, that's what's going on right now with the African American film community, is that everybody was used to doing one thing and making a certain type of thing, and now that it's changing, they don't know what to do with it. So what I've experienced, and I'm sure a lot of other Black filmmakers that grew up in my era or grew up watching the type of stuff that I watched, while we're trying to adapt and make the type of films that we want to make that we grew up on, the old heads are kind of like, nah, let's not do that because they can't adjust. They can't make a different hat. So there's a lot of us out right now that's pushing this agenda. And a lot of the old heads and a lot of the old filmmakers are like, nah, y'all can't come in here with this. So they're low-key gatekeeping. I mean,
Hmm.
for lack of a term. But that's what we're experiencing right now within that community.
And we had this conversation before when I think I had asked you the question about what do you feel like film and TV is going to look like 10, 20 years from now because of the fact that we've gone through this process of remaking the same thing over and over again, or people kind of recycling the same kind of ideas. And what is the creative outlet going to look like 10, 20 years from now? Or what is the creative forefront going to be for people like me and some of my contemporaries? So I'm just curious to know, like, what are your thoughts on what that landscape is going to look like in the future?
I think TV will still exist, and movies will still exist, but it'll be more personalized. So in the sense of like programming, right? Somebody like yourself will have a whole entire network to yourself that I can subscribe to for $10.99 a month. And whatever you want to do on that network is what I'm watching. Whether it's you at home, whether it's you dating, trying to find a new girlfriend, a new wife, you going around to different comedy spots, any type of thing, or your show, right? You might have a show in the works with you with three of
Mm-hmm.
your friends. Whatever that is what I'm subscribing to on your show. And the way that you get paid from it is you're going to have advertisers. So the more followers you have and more subscribers you have to your show, the more opportunities you'll have for advertisements, which is going to fund your stuff. So everybody will have it. And I'm not the first one to say this. Notre Dame has said this in one of his visions that everybody will have 15 minutes of fame. Now that's low key going on right now.
Right.
But if we take happening right now and put it on a larger scale, it just makes sense that that's where it's going. Now, of course, you're going to still have NBC, you're still going to have all your different networks, you're still going to have all that other stuff going on the side,
Mm-hmm.
but you're going to have some players like Mr. Beast, and that's just doing it themselves, their whole network, their whole TV program, and their own shows, and they're going to be pushing that kind of content out. And some of the stuff that's out now is going to just slowly start to dissipate because the audience is changing, and that audience, especially in our community, is changing away from what we used to watch to being a little bit more open-minded to new things, and even more so new cultures and new works that those cultures are producing.
So to kind of put that in layman's terms, right? Like, what would that look like on the grand scale of what those those new interests would be for people like us, or the kinds of genres that we'll work in, or the kind of things that we'll try to create as far as like, what stories we tell instead of telling those same stories that we've been telling.
You're going to definitely start seeing a lot more Black comedies, but not necessarily comedies as me and my friends used to say, Mama ate all the cornbread. You know, that Thanksgiving laugh out loud comedy no more. It may be something about a Black horror film where everybody knows they're in a horror film and they're
Mm,
constantly making jokes about it, but it's still real. You may get a horror film taught from the perspective of a young Black girl that gets caught in an orphanage, and in the orphanage things are going to stir that she's the only one that needs to escape from, on some 80/24 type stuff. So is of course there's going to be a home for anime,
of
where you're going to
course.
more anime like content with African Americans starring in it. I know some of the things that I pitched in my career. I had pitched this one idea one time about a black slave who overthrew his ship and became like one of the most fierce pirates on the seven seas. So you're gonna start seeing stuff like that. And you're gonna be like, whoa, 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 where'd that come from? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's this? It's low key a pirate film, like
No,
real,
right.
like. But these is all black dudes on this pirate ship, like, and they nice. So that kind of content you're gonna start to see pushing out. And unfortunately, some of the content, like and I hate to say this, but I'll take the wrath. The kid and play films and stuff like that, those films are going to slowly start to, move away, as you can see now. And I mean, I'm not making this up. You could look at the viewership. You can look at the cancellation of some of these shows. It's just a different. There's a different audience now, and they're asking for more things, and they're asking for different things. You feel me?
No, absolutely, absolutely. So let me ask you this question, right? Because you've been at this for a very long time, right?
Mm.
So from when you began creating and writing your own scripts and screenplays in the beginning up until this very moment, how do you feel like your creative thinking has changed, or has it changed at all?
I was always kind of on that course, because during the time period that I was in, a lot of the content I like, there was no African Americans to be found. A lot of that stuff was fantasy, sci-fi. You would be lucky if you got the funny, jokey black guy, Fifth Element,
Mm-hmm.
right? Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker.
So, that was a movie that I'm like, oh, this is great. I love this. This is what I like. I like sci-fi, but again, no African Americans found in it other than
Mm-hmm.
comedic relief. So my whole career, that's what I've been pushing is, hey, what if we do a movie about this? Hey, what if we do a movie about this? What if we do a movie, again, the black pirate one? And because a lot of African Americans did not grow up within that genre, a lot of them don't really understand it. I've had
Right.
African producers come to me and say, fantasy, I don't like fantasy. And I'm like, how could you, if you're a producer, how could you not like fantasy? The
Right.
amount of money it makes alone should make you like it. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I
that doesn't
feel
make,
you.
but I've heard that. And so there's, like I said, and it's not just me, there's other content creators out there, I'm sure, all around that can, vouch for me that a lot of their work is being turned down. And it's not mostly by, you know, the white side. It's
Mm-hmm.
by our own that are like, nah, I don't know what that is. I don't do with that. I don't work with that.
So what it sounds like is the power vacuum needs to change. That's what it sounds like.
Well, it is, and I'm you can see it. Like I said, it's because I had this conversation with someone maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and I told them it's coming, and they were like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. And as you can see, slowly some of the shows that we watched are starting to be canceled. Some of the
Mm-hmm.
movies that we used to watch are losing massive amounts of money. And people are on this scarce trying to figure out what's next. And it's in front of their face. They're just afraid of it because, it's, again, with the hat theory, they haven't made that before. They haven't, even been attracted to it before. Whereas though there's that group of people like me who were always about that life. But while we were pushing that, we were called nerds, we were called blurs, like we were called
Right,
names,
right.
the black to the black emos, to the black rocks, punksters, black sci-fi lovers, black, all of those guys, we were always like, oh, you're a geek, you're a nerd. Like, you know what I mean? But now we,
Yeah,
we low
right.
key, the pendulum is in our hands and we're
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, let's take it from here. Like, we got it. We know what this is. And they're just not ready to commit yet. But it's a do or die situation, right? Because the audience, I mean, right now everybody's going to see Guardians of the Galaxy, everybody's going to see Marvel films, everybody's going to see this. People are like, this is what we want to see. It's not a color thing, it's a what I want to see thing. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna pay $10 to go to the movies, I want to see something I want to see. So it's not a color thing and nothing like that. It's just about audience want to see the stuff. And if you guys don't start producing it, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose it.
So just listening to you talk about this, like I'm just curious to know, like, what does it look like, or how do you change that narrative of, just because you don't know what it is, like you can't invest in it, or you can't
Open your
go
eye. It's
yeah, like.
it's a transition, because you got to remember, like, a lot of those films, they've coined those black films.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that's not true. There's a lot of Black filmmakers, especially in the past, that have made some pretty unique works that you would see and you'd be like, oh, somebody white might have wrote this.
Right.
No. Perfect example. I wrote The Wish and the Wisp, which is a fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
There's rhyming in it. There's kids in it. It's like a cat in a hat type deals, Dr. Seuss type deal. I can't tell you how many film festivals I went to and people were like, "Oh, you wrote this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So the change
Yeah.
needs to happen. It's there. It's not saying that we're not capable of doing it. We've always been capable of it.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's our people that we need to go, all right, we'll take a chance on it. And that's why I think it is. I think it's fear. It's fear. They're afraid that if we put something out like that, that it will not come back and receive, a positive feedback. They're afraid that they're going to get clowns for being the ones to do it. And it's not only just that, but it's them saying, okay, what is this thing? Right? Because the first thing is understanding. So if you never watched a fantasy before, if you never watched a sci-fi movie before, and you never got it, if you never watched an anime before, this is the time and opportunity to reach out to cats that do and say, hey, what is this? What am I missing? What am I not, what am I not understanding about this thing? How do I get educated about it? Instead of just holding on to something else and saying, this is my culture, I'm not letting this go.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a fragment of your culture. It's a small fragment of your culture. Your culture is widespread. Like, open yourself up to it, and you'll be able to adapt. Adaptability is everything in any given situation.
That's 100% facts. So, because like with us talking about this portion of filmmaking and everything, like for me, this is all kind of sort of new. Because,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I come from the acting side, obviously. So, I'm always think about it in a way of, well, what story would I want to tell through my performance or my acting, not necessarily what kind of story would I want to tell through my writing. Now, for the people who listen to the podcast, they know I'm in the process of writing a few different things or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, but I'm still learning that part more so than I am on the acting side. Because the acting side, it's pretty straightforward. Like, if you get casted in a role, give your all, try to tell the story through your performance as best as you can, and voila, right? But writing screenplays and trying to articulate a story in a way where, I don't know if you try to articulate the story in a way in which you want other people to be able to understand it, or you just literally want to write it however you envisioned it, and then if they understand it, they understand it. Kind of like everything everywhere all at once. Something
Right.
like that.
And I'm glad you brought that up because, always from an actor standpoint, back in the day, from when I used to act it, I never wanted to play the thug. Like, I just didn't want to play that role, or I didn't want to play the comic relief because it always requires you to almost be less than yourself.
Right.
Right now, we find Kevin Hart in a lot of roles where he is a comic relief, but he still has his pride,
Mm-hmm.
right? He still has confidence. He's still attractive to himself. So there's nothing lost there, So yeah, there's a lot of opportunities maybe now in the films that you see here. But my thing to you would be, this is a perfect example. If I came up to you and I was like, hey, I got this great role for you, where you're going to play this lawyer who is dating this woman who, she's fine, right? She looks great. She's got a great career, but she's kind of feeling you, she's kind of feeling you, but kind of not. But anyway, you propose to her and she says yes, right?
Right.
But her mother has to meet you first, right? So you have to go pick her mother up and bring her back here. And you're like, well, obviously I want to really impress her. So what if I just drive down to Florida, pick her up and bring her back, right?
Right.
Cool, right? And keep in mind, you're a lawyer, right? So you already have
Mm-hmm.
an established job. You're getting married to an attractive woman, right? You probably got a really nice whip. You're about to go pick this lady's mom up, so you might have some cash to spend or some whatever like that, right? This
Right.
you can tell this is going into a comedy, right? Film, right? This is it's going to be a comedy, right? At some point.
Mm-hmm.
Or would you rather play the abusive boyfriend that's hitting his wife?
Yeah, no, I prefer the first one.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like that. It's like we're saying, like, let us still show off what you can do, but in a different way. And we can still hit those certain marks that people want to
Mm-hmm.
see, but we just don't want to see the same thing over and again. We don't want to see Nick in that role. We don't want to see Nick as the funny comic relief at the party or at the bachelor. We don't want to see Nick as the funny with the four best friends on a road trip. Like, we don't want to see you do that no more, Nick. We want you to see something where you are the star, you have a great job, you have a good career,
Hmm.
and you're in a situation that happens to be comical. Can we see that?
That makes a lot of sense.
And most actors are like, yes, I would love that role. But guess what the roles are you're getting? You're getting the abusive boyfriend, or you're getting the funny comedic relief. And that's what we're trying to say is like, yo, we have to stop putting this shit out. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
if Marvel is making changes, why are we not making changes? Why are we not making changes? Why are we going, well, what's up next again? Well, two high school or two college teenagers try to have the light a night of a night on the town and happen to break into a celebrity. Like, come on with that. Like, what is that? And funny stuff ensues. No, man. There's more things for us. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's crazy that people would feel like that is a lineage of them of their history or their culture.
Right.
It's it was a cool, fun time period in which we were finding ourselves, and it was about dancing, and it was about having a good time and putting your troubles away.
Hmm.
Enough, doesn't that not sound like every black show that you've ever heard of? Good
Yeah.
Time, The Jeffersons. I could go on forever. Put your problems to the side and let's just have a good time. Okay, cool, but there's other things. Here's another one for you.
All right.
I would like to see Nick in a situation where here we go. I'm just yo, like this is how easy
No,
it is.
I'm rolling with you. I'm rocking.
You're working at a dead end job. There you go, right? You have a dead end job. Your best friend comes to work one day in a new car, and you're like, "Yo, how you get the new car?" He's like, "Oh man, it's real easy, right? There's this app called the Dad app, right? It's called Daddy app, right? And what you do is you go in the Daddy app, and you can hire yourself to be a dad to someone for like 24 hours, and they pay you. And you're like, what? And he's like, yeah. And of course, obviously, at first, you're like, man, that's crazy. I'm not going to do that. I don't want no kids. But then
Right.
times get maybe your landlord is like, yo, you 3 months behind. You're like, all right, I come up with this money. So you go to do it. At no point did I ever see anything negative about your character.
Not at
Right?
all. Not at all.
Never. Nothing. I didn't even say he was a deadbeat dad.
Mm-mm.
In fact, you're doing something different. You're about to apply yourself into a situation where you're going to take care of a kid and be there a father for him for 24 hours.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
like, we can still answer questions, still be funny, but not put out the same type of nonsense that we've been seeing forever and ever.
Yeah. See, now you got me wanting to act in some of the scenarios.
I mean, and those are good. Those are good movies. I
No,
want
they
to go
are
see
though.
that.
They are.
I would go because you know where it's going. You know the kid going to be tough. You know he's going to be bad. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be a whole deal. There's your funny comedy. But then I get to learn about you as a character. I need to learn about your past. I need to learn about why you don't have kids, right?
Right.
I all of these cool things that maybe a lot of people are asking, or especially women will ask, especially women will ask me at my age, why don't you have kids? Go see the movie. You'll find out why a lot of African American men don't have kids. Because I didn't say you didn't want kids, right?
Hmm.
So there's just a lot of information that would let you show some range as an actor, but also allow you to be this. I mean, like I said, it just someone needs to step up in that room and go, okay, look, let's not do that. Let's do this. And then somebody needs to put their money where their mouth is.
So I agree with you, but I think the question that most people would have is, but how do you get the other people to follow you?
That's where we're at right now. It's almost like imagine as if there's a war going on and a large,
Hmm.
and at the very top of the valley, you got the guys that really want to come in and swoop in and do something, and they're just watching because they just want to see how far deep that war is going to go before they come in and go, okay, like we're here now. So I feel like me and a lot of my colleagues are just in a position where we're tired of fighting with y'all.
Hmm.
We're tired of telling y'all where it's going. We're tired of telling y'all, hey, you should read this or you should do this. We're at the point now where we're like, we'll wait for that to fail completely. And then when you're ready, you know where to find us. Like you know where we be at. Like come holler at us. So you know where we gonna be at. Because
See,
it doesn't affect us because it's just the opposite. Our fan
right.
base is without us being front and center, our fan base is growing. as well, as long as there's Black content creators creating more, and you've seen this, especially on TikTok, you've seen
Mm-hmm.
the increase in Black content in terms of like comic books, Black comic
Mm-hmm.
books, web series, and they're all centered around Black comics, Black comedy, uplifting Black comedy,
Right.
intelligent Black. They're there. So we're just like, we're just going to continue to let that circulate so that when we do come out, what we have, people are already ready for it and they'll just go and they'll just see it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of different places I want to go, but this is
That's
about
cool.
you. This is about you though. So I'm gonna ask the questions about you.
Okay.
So you brought up comics. I know what's going on, but I don't know if you could talk about it. So I'm gonna ask if you can and if you would
A
like
little
to
bit.
talk about it.
I had thought about it. I'll give a little tidbit about
All
it.
right, all right.
Yeah. So I have been writing a comic. The only thing I can really say about it is it's a 7-part series. It does feature a multicultural female. Um, and what else can I tell you? She it's definitely a different take on the superhero genre.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a part one of a 7 series. I'm currently writing the next 3 parts of the series. She's a teenager, and my personally, I would say that you guys should look out for it. I'm releasing information a little bit by little bit as I get closer to the release date for the
Mm-hmm.
first issue. But that's not the only one. The second one that I have coming out is a superhero comic about a Puerto Rican superhero by the name of Patch, and that's going to be fire as well.
See, I don't think
So
I know about that one. I don't think.
yeah, you don't know about Patch.
Ah,
That's that one. Ooh, that one's bad too.
yeah, I need
Yeah,
to know. I need to know about these things. You know what I'm
I
saying?
gotta put you there. I'll
You know what
put
I'm
you
saying?
there.
I need the exclusives, man. I pride myself on getting the exclusives.
I know. I'm gonna put you through. I'm gonna put you. I'm gonna let you be the first one you know what I mean, to take a look at it.
See,
But
that's why you
what's
my
funny is
guy.
both of those were screenplays too. First, so the
Really?
movies were first, and then we decided, all right, before we hit them with that, let's hit them with the comics first, so they can get adjusted to that,
Hmm.
and then release the films later on.
Damn, man, you've been making me ask all these questions. So are the screenplays going to be adapted to the film? Like, are they going to be films or?
Oh, yeah, so and they'll be different because one thing I like to do is give people a different perspective because
Mm-hmm.
if you read like they even did that with The Walking Dead, they made some
Mm-hmm.
adjustment so that it wasn't like exactly what you saw.
Right.
But it'll still stay within the whole entire format of the world, but there'll be some smaller changes, maybe some people's ages and stuff like that.
Okay.
Um, but it'll still be generally the same idea of the story.
Okay. All right. See, my man Vashmere Valentine is making major moves, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I bring the heavy hitters on the HolloTalk podcast. So shouts out to my man Vashmere for doing it big and putting on for the culture, man.
I mean, that's somebody got to do it because I consider myself a fan of all different type of works. I've
Hmm.
seen a lot of films in my life, and they've been from all over. And I have favorites, and I have some that I like, some that I don't. But I don't ever put a culture on it. You know what I'm saying? I never said, "Well, I'm not going to watch that because it's made by a Japanese filmmaker." I'm not going to watch that because it's no.
No,
I
I
watch
feel you.
everything. Yeah. So when it comes to writing, I do that as well. I come from an open mind. A lot of content that I want to produce is going to be centered around a lot of different ethnic groups that have been kind of pushed to the side, but it still will be within the genre of different places that they haven't seen us before.
Okay, so I'm curious to know. So I'm gonna ask a few different questions. Same question, but a few different ways. So,
Oh,
um, what do you look for in an actor? What do you look for in a screenplay? What do
mm.
you look for in a film or a TV show that captures your attention to say, this is good acting, this is good filmmaking, this is good, whatever?
All right. So in actors, I generally look for someone who some people carry around a certain openness with themselves, where they just know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
and they're completely honest with who they are, and they don't have a problem with that. So I usually look for that because those are the actors that are usually bring out the best performances. I do typically do look for a theater background in some actors, but if they don't have it, there have been some amazing actors that don't have a theater background.
Mm-hmm.
As long as they're kind of at one with themselves and who they are. If you can touch on your own emotions, if you believe in who you are, then the character becomes you. You don't become the character. You both share that space.
Right.
So you can kind of take on the character's first name and they take on your last name, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So any type of actor that I can tell that does that, I just one that I want to work with.
Okay. All right. Sounds a lot like me.
There you go. Know
You know,
oneself, man. You know
you
yourself,
already
you can do
you,
it.
you already know, ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna see me in the next Vashmere Valentine production.
Oh,
So what about movies and TV shows? Like what about them do you see and be like, like I really enjoy this story, or I enjoy the way that they're telling the story through the acting or the way that the story is written or the music that's being played or whatever the case may be.
originality. I'm huge on originality. If you bring something to the plate that I ain't never seen before, you already won me one half. But then also I would have to say, um, there's a certain cleverness that people have with the writing. Um, that's another thing. When dialogue doesn't feel like dialogue, just feels like people are talking, because dialogue typically isn't written like people
Mm-hmm.
talk, but some people can pull off some really good dialogue that gives information, but also just feels natural. So those are some things. Those are some other things. Let's see what else. Special effects don't impress me. I've seen some terrible special effects on some really good movies. So um, that's not really a big thing. Writing wise, we all kind of follow the same format, but some people are just a G at being able to give a script and just still surprise a writer. Like
Mm-hmm.
there are some writers that'll write so damn good that you forget that you're in that industry and you just become somebody that's just watching a film like everyone else. And there's been a couple of films that I've seen that have done that to me, and I'm like, wow, this is a work of art. Like
Can you
I didn't
name
even
the
see.
films? No?
Oh,
Yes?
man.
Maybe? Possibly?
Off the rip, I was just watching one a couple of days ago too, um, where I was just like, I was like, wow, I didn't even see any of that coming. It's probably gonna take me a minute
No,
to think.
well, I know everything everywhere all at once is one of them for
That was
sure, right?
yeah. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, that was one that I was like, what is going on? Like I'm in this. Like I am here for this. I was in that theater for that. I was all about that. That's definitely one. Um, yeah, that would be one, and then I'll probably think of a couple as we move along. But yeah, that's a perfect example. I didn't know what was going on, but I did know what was going on, but I didn't know what was going on.
I just don't know what's going on.
That's what it's so easy. Like I'm telling you, I could teach a whole class on that movie, but it was so beautifully and well written. And I mean, just to put this out there for anybody that's watching it, hopefully, if you're trying to be in a film, I'm gonna tell you some of the best projects, and this is something I call it the truth and candy,
Okay.
right? So to me personally, and this is what I teach when it comes to screenwriting, is like some of the best films have a truth and then they have candy, right? So the truth is what your film's really about, right? What it really means to you and your heart. And then the
Mm-hmm.
candy is what you put on, sprinkle around to make it sexy. So one of the different ideas I'll use is something like, oh, what's Iron Man about? And people will be like, oh, it's about superhero. No, stop right there. The first Iron Man is about a guy that doesn't think that he'll ever be as good as his father.
Mm-hmm.
That's the constant thing is Tony Stark does not think he'll be he is as good as his father.
Right.
That's what he deals with. What's the candy? He's a fucking
Yeah,
billionaire. Like,
billionaire superhero,
like
man.
so as long as you have those both, you tip it and you know how to kind of give them both back and forth in a nice little equilibrium, then you'll make a great movie. Everything, everywhere, all at once was that. It was truth, which was the relationship between a mom and a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was the candy, which was of course the martial arts and all of the special effects and all
And
that.
all the cool shit that we seen.
And somebody told me I had a friend that told me that's pretty much what Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was. There's a lot of truth in it, and then there's just a lot of candy. But if you learn how to work that system back and forth enough, you're gonna make a good movie. It's hard not to. And I usually tell people when you write that truth, don't make something up. Write something that you know about. You know what I'm saying? Like if you if you happen to just always get your heart broken, then maybe that's something you could write about because you are a master in knowing that. And when you write it, it's going to come off real because you have knowledge about that. A lot of times people don't take their life experiences and think that though that's education. That's
Right.
school. Life is school.
For
You
sure.
know, so you may be better in a different subject than me, which is cool. I'm not gonna try to write your subject. Write your subject that you've been through over and over again. You know, I wouldn't write a movie about drugs because I never been in that game. So I would
Right.
have to go find it did, but I wouldn't attempt to even do it because I would know that there was just not enough knowledge in me to know about it to do it.
Yeah. So it's like the same thing as music. You know, like when you think about who your
No doubt.
favorite musicians are or like your favorite songs, is usually things that you can relate to, or it comes off
Mhm.
very, very transparent because that's the actual life that the person has lived. And those
Right.
stories that they tell it in a way in which they can only tell it because they're the ones that lived it.
All day. And you feel that. So it touches you. So you all in it. Like you're all in it, you know. And it's funny too, because everybody's like, oh, well, that's what they're starting to realize now on social media where people are getting all these followers from us because people like authentic people
Mm-hmm.
who's suffering or not suffering, whether you got a lot of clothes or gear or not. People like authentic stuff. And I cater that a lot towards your people in terms of your age group because
Mm-hmm.
you are more like what's authentic, what's real, what's not. Us, that last generation, we still was in that whole ice, you know, cars, fast jewelry. I got it. Oh, I want to get that. Y'all are more so like,
Hmm.
who are you really?
Okay. So all right. So we gonna take a quick commercial break because we ran out of time a little bit. So I I really wanted to tackle that conversation because we talked about it before and we said we was going to talk about it on the record, but it just ties into everything that we're talking about. So we really, really have to dive into this because that's interesting what you said, and I really need the people to hear this conversation. So we are going to take a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back with more of the HolloTalk podcast in just a second. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the HolloTalk podcast with Jetpack Nick and my
Talk.
guy. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? HolloTalk, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
And my man Vashmere Valentine. So, but before we had took our commercial break, Vashmere, you were saying,
I was saying that this is the authenticity culture. This is the authenticity generation.
okay.
Yeah.
So I agree with you to an extent, right? Where I differ, I guess you could say, is I don't necessarily think that that's the case per se. Like I think a lot of people tend to struggle with self identity in this era, I guess you could say. Like a lot of people tend to, I mean, and not to say like it's different because of this generation and it wasn't like that in other generations because we all share the same kind of things. Like one of the things I like to say is there's not any situation under the sun that nobody has ever experienced or lived before. So there's not nothing new under the sun as far as what we can experience, what we can feel, or whatever. But I don't know. Like I think a lot of people tend to struggle with self identity. People
Mm,
don't really know who they are or what they like or what they feel. I think a lot of us um tend to hang on to the ideologies or the feelings of people that we admire or look up to. Whereas again, I don't really want to say y'all did that more so than us,
mm,
but I think maybe with social media, it tends to look more inauthentic in a way because
yeah.
of the fact that we can see it more often. Whereas, and in your generation, y'all didn't have social media, so you couldn't really, see everybody fronting on social media or fronting somewhere else that wasn't your neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a lot to unpack.
It
So
was. It was
let
a
me say this. I'm
lot.
glad you said that too. So the best way I can answer that is our generation, the deep rooted issues with our generations is that the fact that our parents and the people around our generation were constantly telling us not to do things.
Right.
Don't do this, do that. Don't be this, be that. Don't be that, or don't be that, be this. So what our struggle was trying to figure out who we were.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference in the situation between your generation and our generation is that we did not have a time limit. So a lot of the people that we looked up to were older than us, and we had
Okay.
established the fact that something like that would take time. Your generation does not believe that you have time. So there's a rush to figure
Right.
out who you are as soon as possible to get the things that you need to get. Because our generation, you could be 40 and just making it.
Mm-hmm.
Hove, he's a billionaire, but it took him like 40 to do it. But
Mm-hmm.
even when Hove was 35, people weren't like, oh, he pushing it. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Somebody 35 now in your generation might be considered an old head. So if you are literally 17 years old and you're in a situation where you're trying to find yourself, and the people that you're looking up to is in their 20s and they
Mm-hmm.
have made the correct mistakes that they need to really find themselves, then that's like the blind leading the blind.
Right.
So, it's like the people your generation looks up to are not even mature enough to be looked up to. They just have fast success. That's it. So we both suffer from the fact that we did have people that we looked up to that were successful, right? But the difference is that we allowed ourselves to say, hey, it'll come when it comes. We'll figure it out. You guys are like, we need it now. Like, I need it now. I need it now because 2025, people are going to look at me like, yo, what do you do with your life?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think you guys have to separate the fake of the fact that that doesn't always happen. Like, that's just, a Justin Bieber happens once in a million, once in a blue,
Mm-hmm.
and we knew that. We were like, oh, he made it when he was 10. Good for him. Let's see how that shit works out. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But
Right.
it was like, we already saw that happen with Mike and our
Mm-hmm.
generation. We saw it happen with Mike. We saw it happen with, the bull from was a TV show, Different Strokes.
Mm-hmm.
All young child actors go through it, and we was like,
Right. Right.
like sometimes it is a little better to let that marinate for a while. But y'all was like, nah, I'm 20 by 20, gotta have it by 20. So the anxiety and the rush is a lot sooner for you guys, and you guys portray the things that you see by these guys a lot sooner, and that's why you see why you see so many people quote unquote faking it more than they did even back in our day. Because back in our day, we were like, wait, hold on, you drive what and you 20 what?
Yeah.
Sounds a little sus. Sounds a little sus. Now,
Right.
one of y'all could be driving in a Lamborghini at 22, and you might be like,
It's
what's he
normal.
doing?
Yeah. Like.
What's he doing? What's he doing? Like, we'd be like, nah, that's sus. Something ain't right with that. Y'all be like, yo, he making dude doing it. And then 3 months later, find out my man was like, had a whole credit card scam. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where the difference is like, we see something, we like, that's sus. Y'all see something, you're like, yo, put me down.
Right.
And now you a part of that scandal. And
Okay. Okay. So let me ask you because again, like I just think that this is a very interesting conversation, and I was well equipped to have this part of the conversation because we had discussed it on the record.
yeah,
So, do you feel as though that the instant gratification of today's generation is something to be looked upon as a good thing, or is it extremely detrimental to the natural progress of who you are as a person, growing into the person that you need to become professionally or just personally?
it's a drug. Um,
Yeah.
it's just that now, it's just now that I mean, drugs have always been an issue. I mean, obviously, there was a huge epidemic, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
that took place, of course, during the whole crack era and all
Yes.
that stuff. The machine is the new drug, you know. The machine, the machine is the drug. The phone is the drug. The apps are the drug. And no drug, too much of anything isn't good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the only thing I can say is it's almost like a double-edged sword because you guys have more access to be creatives, to be who you are, and to show the world who you are. The bad thing about that is as you're climbing up that, like to go back what I was saying about the age gap, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
our day, we was like, true success will probably take you about 30, 35. You know, and
Right,
you do
right.
that from the rip, where you guys are like 20. So, oh man, I just had a good point to make there, and it skipped me. But because you guys don't have that time bracket to give yourselves that space to really move into it, everything is rushed. So you're overdoing a drug. You know what I'm saying? Like
I feel you.
you're ODing. And that ODing is causing you anxiety, is causing you stress, and of course, it's causing people to just fake it till they make it type deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in a way, you guys are kind of, it's almost weird. It's almost like everything is kind of bringing itself tenfold because you guys have the apple, right? The apple, the fruit, the power
Mm-hmm.
of knowledge to be able to make it. Like you could make it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You all you need, you're probably 3 skits and maybe a good web series away from making it.
Right.
But then again, what is the impact going to have on you as at the age you are of making
Mm-hmm.
it fast?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like how can you deal with that stress? Can you deal with that anxiety? Can you deal with that pressure as much as you will when you were older?
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I think it's more about the individual who can come to grips with the fact, like, okay, this isn't real. You know, it is a drug. It's not real. How do I take this and how do I make this into what I want it to be instead of it making what it wants to be to me?
Okay, so I want to refer back to a point where you said it was like a double-edged sword because I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. So the way that I see the double-edged sword being is you're right in the sense of we have the ability to tap into individualism where you guys just kind of weren't able to do so because of the fact that we have more creative outlets, more abilities to show people who we are and what we're about, what we think, this, that, and the third, right?
Mm,
But we also harkening back to a point where you made about the people that we look up to. Like I'm
mm,
25, right? Now, me, luckily, I was able to be around older people who I've had in-depth, open-ended conversations with who put me on the game about just how life works or just things that I need to know in order to be successful in my life, whether it's, just in a career or just living life, a
mm.
lot of people in my generation aren't necessarily granted that same kind of opportunity to have older people around. Like they old head is 21 if they're 17, like you
All
said,
right,
right?
right,
At 21, you ain't lived no life yet. For real, like you really don't have no reference point to be like, all right, you should watch out for this, you should look out for this, you should probably do it this way. I've done it. It's like we in the same lane, so it's like we're
facts.
running the same kind of race already. So like how can you tell me how to run a race that you are currently racing also?
Right. You getting taught by, instead of being taught by the master with the long white beard, it's somebody that's in the class with you. You like,
Right.
how does work?
Right. So it's kind of like counterproductive in a way. It's like we have so much access to show who we are as individuals, but we have no individuality.
Yeah. You know what else sucks for you guys too is the fact that, so we did now remember what I was going to say. So we talked about how obviously you learn more about yourself as you get older, right? As you
Yes.
experience more things in life. The difference between you guys and us is that while I was figuring it out, only the people around me knew what was happening. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So if I was, oops, I made a mistake, it was like, yo, you fell off, just get back up. And I was like, all right,
Right.
y'all fell in front of the
The
world.
whole world. Yeah.
And then you deal with the repercussions of that from the whole world scolding you versus where I told you it was just our parents or
Hmm.
things that was like, oh, you shouldn't have did that. That wasn't a move, B. And you'd be like, yo, you're right. Like, let me check myself and get back. Now you guys have the whole entire world being like, yo, you shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have did that. You this. So that's crazy. That's why, it's like putting yourself out there. So that's the double-edged sword because yeah, the you that you are could be, and you could find yourself at any age.
Yeah.
But if you who you are is not fully complete, which of course obviously nobody ever is, but if you're still making those mistakes because you're putting so much of yourself out there to be received and it's received in a wrong faction, it could be devastating. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And to even like give like a personal example of like just myself, right? Like I was never really like shy about like who I am.
Mhm.
Like I mean you've been around me long
I
enough to
can tell
know
that.
like you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying like I'm who I am no matter where I'm at. Like and I was I won't say I was late to like the social media party, but I was in traffic.
But you ready though.
Right.
You ready for it.
But like what I'm saying is like when I made my interest into social media and you know being on a podcast or just putting myself out there to like show people who I am, what who I'm about, or what I'm about. I should rather say, and what I think and all this type of stuff. I took a step back to be like, I don't know, like I don't know how people are gonna receive it
Mm.
because and it was a lot of factors. Like one of the factors was I just know that my upbringing and the way that I might think or the things that I'm interested in might be foreign to somebody who's also 25. I like to say I'm an old 25.
I agree with that.
You
I
know,
agree.
like the music I listen to, the people I associate myself with, the things I've experienced in my 25 years of living, like somebody else that's 25 might have no idea what I'm talking about or no idea what those experiences are or were for me. So me being that, it'd be like, damn, hey, bro, where this shit? Like, and then I might be like, damn, like I don't even know why I even did this shit. But
Mm.
then I just decided, like, all right, maybe I need to just do it and see what happens. Like it's not that I don't know what I'm talking about. It's not that I don't that I'm not sure of myself or anything like that. Like all of those things that may wreck somebody else if they get backlash or they you know get a bad comment here and there. Like I'm I'm I think I'm secure myself enough to do my thing, do it really well, and the people who who gravitate towards it are the people who deserve that level of understanding from me.
Let me ask you a question. And
Go ahead.
this the reason I'm gonna ask you this because this to me speaks for you.
Okay.
So if I took two, we'll say two 15-year-olds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna give them a fault. So the 15-year-old on the left can't sit. Well, he can't both can't sit, right?
Mm-hmm.
One can't how do I want to say this? One can hear, but the other one can only speak. So one of the kids can speak, right? And
Right.
he can hear, but he can speak, right? The other one can't speak and he can only hear.
Mm-hmm.
If I put both of them out in the world and let them travel for about 10 years, who do you think will come back the smartest?
The one who can hear.
Exactly. Even though he can't speak,
Right.
right? And that's because knowledge is here. That's why you have two of these in one.
Right. Right.
That's you. Since I've met you, all you have done is ask questions. Does
I mean, that's true.
It's the
I think
truth. It's the truth. You only gain knowledge from asking questions. But if you're too cocky to ask questions, how do you gain knowledge?
that's a fact.
And that's why you're successful. And that's why people don't mind helping you. The fact that you're even in a class to learn something, it's a humbleness. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're saying, I'm so humble that I can admit that I don't know this and I want to learn about it. People that have knowledge about things love to tell people that want to seek that knowledge. That's why in every fucking martial arts movie where you see the kid go up to the temple and the dude's like, I don't want to train you. And they're like, I want to learn. They always train them.
Mm-hmm.
Always. They never been like, no, kick rocks. You're done. Like, I'm not doing this. They always train them because they know that that person, they just want to make sure you're really seeking it. So that's where you get the no, 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 no. I had a mentor that turned me down for 3 years straight.
Damn.
3 years straight, this man kept saying, I don't do mentors. I don't do that stuff. Yeah, keep it moving. And on the fourth year, he was like, fine. So it's just like, and the knowledge I got from him is ridiculous. Like, changed my whole entire film life, like completely. And I realized why he didn't want to tell no one. And that's a lot of the stuff I give y'all, but that I fought for 4 years. but but that's you, and that's what makes you different. So when you're talking about the difference between somebody like you and somebody there's another jetpack that's out there that's just talky.
Mm,
I'm jetpack. That's okay. Let me do this. Let me do this. You should be happy to be on my show. That dude's not making it, bro.
right.
He ain't going nowhere. Don't matter what he doing. He ain't going nowhere. I promise you that. you are going to go somewhere. That's why you're making the moves you're making now. And here's the second part of it. You have a step of goals, right? Since
Mm-hmm.
I've known you, you've told me you've had the same goal. Since I've known you,
Well,
it's been a goal. And I mean, I'm not going to say what it is, but
all
because
right, all
I
right,
want everybody to have you wait for it to happen. But you heard it here first that I know what it is.
all right.
So it ain't nothing crazy, y'all. It ain't owning a web network. It ain't being in no big ass movie. It's a very humble goal, and I promise you, you'll get there. But that's how it works. That's the step.
Mm-hmm.
And as you have this small goal and then this bigger goal and this bigger goal, you're giving yourself the time to grow into the goal, to grow and mature. But that's what makes you different than the rest of them. You didn't just jump out there and just was like, I'm Jetpack Nick, and you should grab bitches by the pussy. Oops. And then I'm like,
He's trying to get me canceled.
you like, bro, you want me to do that pod? And you like, yo, that was a mistake though. I'm saying like I was just tripping that day. Nah, B, I can't do your pod. Like I can't.
Right, right.
You went there. Like I can't help
No,
you.
right.
You know what I mean? So it's just I can't teach that though. You feel me? You're either
No,
born with
I
that or you're
feel you.
not. You're
I
born with
feel
that or
you.
not. Because you do got some casters out here saying some crazy stuff on these pods and getting canceled before their life even begin. And like that don't matter. Like, yo, it matters, you know. So there's a lot of, there's a lot of you that if you when you hear it, you don't even know you're doing it. But if you hear it, then you're like, wow, that's what I do. Yeah, that's what you do. And
Right.
that's why people fucks with you. Excuse my French,
No,
because
you
when you carry yourself is the way is makes people feel a certain type of way, you know.
right,
And
right.
you make somebody feel how you are, they accept you and they want to help you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
No,
But
well, I mean, you told me that like since day one, like when I first walked in class and we had our conversations, like and to make a point off of the point that you made about me having like steps to the goals and growing into those moments, I've had like different thought processes about the two sides of that. So I was very cognizant enough to know that that's what I do. Like
hmm,
I I like whatever moment I'm in that moment. I want to get as much out of that moment as I possibly can until I move to the next moment, right?
right. But what you
Um
I'll touch on
go
that
ahead, go ahead.
just
Oh,
people
oh.
what you talking about.
So I try to get as much as I possibly can out of that moment that I'm in. Like that's why I'm asking all the questions. That's why I'm like, yo, like come on the pod, like let's create and do something and do it for the world. Like and then I also had the feeling too, and this was a feeling like when I came out of school, right? I came out of college, like I was more so on the all right, I know I got the talent, I know I got the ability, I know I got the skills to get where all these other people are that got the money, the fame, yeah, whatever.
Mm,
And I was like, all right, pedal to the metal, let's get to it. If I don't get here by 22, 23, then what the fuck? Like, but then I had to like step out of it for a second and I had to
mm,
be like, all right, wait a minute. I accomplished all of this stuff off of the muscle, like
mm.
just my own merit, my own
Just your
know
person,
how.
who you are.
Right. Like I accomplished all this. I got 5 seasons of the podcast working on season 6. I've talked to so many amazing, dope people that got some shit on their resume. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm,
And y'all sit here for an hour, 2, sometimes 3 hours, and y'all talk to me about y'all life, open-ended conversations, and you're comfortable doing it as if you've known me for
no
your
doubt.
whole life,
Yeah.
right? And for me, kind of taking a step back and like how you said, like when you listen to yourself and you be like, oh damn, like that's why people fuck with me. Like I sit here
Hmm.
and I listen to these episodes and I listen to the conversations we have and I hear the energy that's being transferred, if you will, and it makes me realize like, yo, you are doing what you set out to do. Like, yeah, it's not going to happen overnight, but it's probably happening a hell of a lot faster than you think it is. Like,
I can agree with that.
you know what I'm
It
saying? Like
is.
I'm 25, who knows, by 30 or even earlier than that, I could achieve most of the goals, financial goals or career or professional goals that I had set out for myself. You know, somebody might be mad that they're 25 that don't happen by 25 and a half. You feel what I'm saying? Like 30 still young. You still got a whole lot of life to live. You still could do your thing and be cool. And for me, I'm knowledgeable enough and cognizant enough to be like, all right, I'm in these moments. Let's make the most of every moment that we're in because we're meeting some dope ass people. We're doing some dope ass shit. Let's make the most of it. And hopefully that that next step or whatever can be something bigger, something better, something more fruitful. You know what I mean?
That if there was somebody that said something on the pod that was, I mean, that you should take that and put that on a t-shirt if you can. That ass. I mean, it's the truth, man. Like one of the best things I think you said was you said you take every situation and make the best out of it, right? Mm-hmm. And again, I'm all about testimonies, and I will tell y'all that just a couple of maybe a week ago, you worked on a film set, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And do you remember what your position was on the film set?
I was a AD, right?
Well, you was, yeah, but like further down the line, right? It wasn't a glorious position. Let's just put it that way, right? It wasn't the most glorious thing in the world, right?
Nah,
okay. I'm saying cool. Let's call it what it is, though. It wasn't the most glorious
thing, they had me running, getting snacks and shit.
Real talk. Real talk. This is real talk now. But let's talk about making the best of the situation. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what I seen on my side of it. I saw you slowly going up and talking to somebody who is a master of their craft and who also owns a film company. Mm-hmm. And I saw you talking to them, chatting with them, being who you are, being mm-hmm. humble. First of all, I saw you talk to this individual and ask them questions about what they did. Then I saw you talk to this individual and ask them about themselves. And then
I did that to everybody on set, actually.
Facts. But you did it to one person who it really mattered to.
Okay.
Keep in mind, you did it to everyone.
Oh, yeah. Y'all must have had a conversation where when I wasn't there or something.
Didn't even have to. One thing I'm going to point out is you asked this one person to read your script. Mm-hmm. And to be able to get somebody to do that is the difference between you making it and you not.
Right.
Is having the ability to be able to do that. And most people wouldn't have done that because most people, number one, would have been like, I'm in a shitty position. I'm gonna just do what I got to do right now. Right. But you didn't look at it that way. You was like, I'm going to do what I can do. Right. But I'm also going to do what I do.
Right.
And that conversation, believe it or not, that's the kind of conversation that gets you put on. And that's why I tell you, don't worry about the age thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's be who you are, which you are, you know. And I told you that you know who you are. Yeah. That's why I say start working in this business right now. Mm-hmm. But the second thing is being humble, which a lot of people aren't. People hate people that aren't humble in this business, right? And the humbleness in you to be able to be like, look, I have my own special set of skills that I know how to do. I see that all of y'all know how to do. Can we just do it together?
Right.
Putting that blanket statement out there is what people don't know how to do. And that's why people, it usually either A, takes people a longer time to do it, including myself. It was years before I had the balls to do what you did and say, hey, can you read my script? And this was well after I was winning awards. And I still wasn't I still wasn't that guy.
I got you. I got you.
But the fact that you are that guy, because again, you are who you know you are. And that's the difference between somebody calling you up a week from now. And that's, I'm gonna just say something. That's what we call planting seeds, right? Mm-hmm. Cool enough to come to somebody like me and say, yo, you're dope at what you do. Can I interview? That's planting a seed, right? Because that means the next time somebody calls me up and is like, yo, we're making this film, it's coming to Philly, Kevin Hart, you know any? Yep, got him. Let me call you right now.
No, that's a fact though. That's a fact.
So you're right. While you're doing this, there is a number of us's who have you right here, who is just waiting for that. Oh, this is Nick's moment. I got him. This is the moment. Keep in mind, so literally we're working for you at this point. Real talk. We're working for you. Where somebody else would be like, oh, I don't want to let this cat on my pod, or I'm very careful who I have. You planted seeds in each and every person that you've had on this pod so far. Mm-hmm. Now we work for you rent free. Like we are out working for you going, yo, if I see something for Nick, I got him. That's crazy. That's crazy to think everybody that you had on the show is working for you right now and you don't even know it. That's crazy.
I appreciate y'all.
But it's facts though. It's facts.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's like you're good. Like you planted enough seeds, you just waiting for them to grow.
Yeah.
But trust me, you have people, you turn people that you looked up to or appreciated into people that work for you now. Now they work for you to either thinking of something that you would be great for or hearing something and being like, oh, he would be great for this.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, because you know what you have, you know that you'll be ready for it when it comes.
Yeah, and hmm, you know what? I'm gonna just say thank you real quick because
It's fact, man.
because and the reason I want to say thank you is because for you to be able to articulate it in that manner and be able to not only speak like from your own experience with me, but from your experience of like listening to me talk to other people or see me talk to other people, like if we're in the same room or whatever, like that's really really important to me, and it means a lot to me because of the fact that it lets me know that what I'm doing isn't going unnoticed, and it's having an impact on you, whether I'm talking to you directly or you just are in the vicinity of me talking to somebody. Um, I also want to say that I've done what I've done because of the fact that I respect the game. I respect the 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 way in which people have got to it, and them chasing their dreams and their aspirations and their visions or whatever the case. And for me to be in a room with Vashmere Valentine and him be my acting teacher and we work on a film together, like I was saying this on set for those few weeks, every time, like, yo, like it's not every day you get to work on a movie set, like, you know what I'm saying? Like no matter how big or small the film is or whatever the case may be, like not every day you get to come on the movie set. Like there's people who will never get an opportunity to do something like that. So for
You
me,
never know who you're working with.
no, right. So for me, like coming into that experience, I already knew like, okay, not only do I like these people, but I'm doing something that's like not out of the ordinary, but out of the ordinary for people who I directly associate with usually, or people that I've grown up with, or people who come from where we come from. Like this isn't something that I just want to take for granted or just say, hey, I was on a movie set that one time. Like, nah, I want to get the most out of that moment that I'm in, be who I can be unapologetically, and try to create as many relationships as I possibly can. So that way, when that next moment comes, like you said, or like me planting seeds, like it's already there. Like call me up. Let's do something else. Let's collaborate on a new thing and just build that relationship, build that friendship or that whatever. Like I'm very very intentional on doing that. Very very intentional. And I truly just want to say thank you to not only you, but to all the people in my life that support me, hold me down, and you know want me to succeed to my highest degree, whether they tell it to me or they say it in private. I thank y'all so much. I
Welcome.
appreciate y'all, and I will continue to make y'all proud.
You ain't got no choice but to. You know what I'm saying? You got yeah, because once you get to that point where people working for you, they expect you to deliver. So I mean,
Exactly, and it
so,
right, right, and the fact that y'all are even doing that just off the strength of because you fuck with me, like I can't go into any moment bullshitting. You feel me? Like
don't.
yeah, like I could go have fun, like I can enjoy what I'm doing or whatever, but at the end of it all, it's like all right, let's get to it though. Like let's, you know what I mean, let's do our thing so that way people could be like, all right, not only is he a good dude, but he puts in great work. Like me, I'm gonna be I'm gonna try to be the best AD I possibly can,
Yeah,
or when I'm
you
on a
there.
podcast, like you know what I'm saying, like yo, I like the way that he talks. Like he made me feel comfortable. I enjoyed the conversation. He let me talk, like
Right,
you know
right.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
you
Facts.
know. So shouts out to you and shouts out to everybody else that support me, man, because The support is mutual.
Yeah, I mean, like I told you, it's a when you're at one with yourself, like you are in that position, even more so than me myself. Like you have a faster, you have a more forward motion to making it a lot faster than other people do. Especially when you have the supportive people, and you're not in a role where people would feel like it would hurt them. You know what I'm saying? Somebody might be like, "Oh, this dude's way too good at this screenwriting shit. I can't fuck with him." you know, those are the positions, or this dude's way too good at this thing. You're not in that position where somebody would be like, oh, I should be jealous of him. Jealous is a whole role.
Right.
So the fact that you making it, you're more of an asset to someone, you know what I mean? To a team than you would be,
of course,
be something else than that. Yeah.
Of course, so now we just got to find a way to turn it into dollars.
I mean, Gucci, I told you, you know what I mean? I met with the team. I told y'all where y'all at. So, you know what I'm saying?
No, you already know. We got to find a way to turn it into some dinero.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's a lot easier than you think. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier than you think. Once you guys have that, what you're doing, crafted down, and you know what I mean? I just need to, there's people here that'll show you. I have a whole series that I wrote. I think it's 12 episodes. 12 episodes, a whole season of a comedy series that I wrote that I was like, what should I do? Who should I put in this? And I've just been sitting on it for like 3 years now. Me and my boy Terry have been sitting on it for 3 years now. And I'm like,
shouts out to Terry.
Shout out to Terry. I'm like, should I bring this to Philly or not? So you know what I mean? Like I said, that's the discussion that me and him have been having.
Listen, I think
I told you about that. I told
you
about
that. No, you did. But since we on the pod, I'm gonna use my leverage while I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you got a role for it, brother,
hey, let me know. You ain't never asked your people ain't asked to read it. That's why I was like, if they asked to read it, I'll send it to them. I was expecting y'all to say, yo, could we read Jidge on? And I was gonna be like, oh yeah. And then if y'all be like, yo, this is funny, like we fucks with this, and I'd be like, all right, well then do it.
All right, well,
ain't nobody push. Ain't nobody ain't nobody kick.
Consider this shit push. Oh, I like that. I like that. Lupe Fiasco, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what I mean?
No, all right, okay, all right. So we can make that happen. We can definitely make that happen.
It is.
I ain't know that, but see now that's why I said I'm using my leverage. Well, I got it. I got you. I got you on record.
You asking me for work? I got work. Like it's like
right, say less. Let's
a whole season.
And I got a team. I have it. Well, you know this.
There should be no reason why y'all shouldn't do it.
All right,
it's crazy, and you got access to gear. Like I don't hold. Look, man, I shoot shots, bro. I don't hold on the balls. You feel me? Like I'm stuck. You give it to me, I'm just shoot it. I'm not passing or nothing. I don't hold on to stuff. It's like you give it to me, it's gone. Like I'm going down the other
I feel you.
You know what I mean? So it's
that's a fact. All right. So like I said, consider it pushed. All right, because I would love to be a part of it, and obviously, I have a team that would love to be a part of it. So let's make it happen.
Say less, bro. I mean, it's chilling there. I'm like, I've been looking at that thing for 3 years. Like, what am I gonna do with this? I'm gonna just get rid of this thing.
Give it. I ain't gonna say give it to us, but let us partake in it.
It'd be good for y'all too. I think y'all could squeeze. It was low key like the same kind of joint as y'all.
Same kind of concept.
Yeah, it was literally like I was like, oh, this is like 420. So, but
all right, say less. All right, okay. So we ran out of time, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna take another quick commercial break, and we will be right back with more of the HolloTalk podcast because we got a lot of good stuff that we got to talk about. So Vashmere, don't go nowhere.
All right, I'm cool.
We'll be right back, my brother. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the HolloTalk podcast with Jetpack Nick and my guy Vashmere Valentine. All right, so my man, I want to know. So I don't know if you could talk about it, but I figured I ask since I got you here, right? So, what productions you working on? You got any productions in the works right now, or?
Yeah, so currently there's like I want to say I could say 19, but I'm gonna say there's about like 10 things.
Yes. See, I'm thinking you about to say something regular. 19. What?
Yeah, so that I spend a lot of my time screenwriting, man. That's why, like, you don't see a lot of material out there for me because I wanted to be ready. So a lot of my productions were just was pretty much me, was a lot of me being on tables going, that's not going to work for me. And them going, well, this is who you are right now. So, and me being like, well, it's cool. I'll just wait. Like, I'm not in any rush. Like, I'm all about that time. Like, I'm cool. So yeah, after years and years and years, a lot of my work just kind of tumbled over each other. But of course, the one I'm most known for, which is the Wish and the Wisp, that's kind of like the staple of everything. That's the one that we're still trying to get Johnny Depp attached, so you know what I mean? It's like,
hold on. I gotta say this. I gotta say,
yeah.
my friends are cooler than y'all. It's like,
We're trying to get that. I'm trying to get that cat, man. I refuse to make this movie without this cat. So if he's listening, Johnny, we're trying to get you. We're trying to
that's
get you on
crazy.
board.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. You are pulling a jetpack Nick on jetpack Nick. Look at you.
yeah,
I'm normally the one talking about, saying, come come
yeah.
mess with me, man.
It ain't
Johnny
gonna be a.
Depp.
It's not
Holla
gonna
at
be a
my man.
fantasy. Yeah,
Holla at my man Johnny.
it's not gonna be a fantasy if we don't get him on board, man. It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be a true homage to '80s fantasy if we don't get that cat. So
Oh, you know what? You know what? So I ain't gonna say make me a promise, but I'm gonna say make me a promise.
I ain't gonna hold you. I
if
got
you
you.
if you get Johnny Depp
Yeah.
in your film, right? I ain't saying I need a role, but like I just need to like be there.
I promise you, this is what I promise you. If I get Johnny or okay, Mr. Depp, if I get Mr. Depp to be a part of this project, I'll make you a wisp. Make up a whole nine, like low key. I'll even give you a line. I promise you that on the spot.
Johnny.
I'll give you a line. It'll be something like what? Or something real cool, but I'll give you that. I will give you that. I'll give you that.
Johnny.
You got that.
You hear me, Johnny? Like
Let's get him.
that see, you my man. So you know what I'm saying? Like we gonna shake on it though. Can we shake on it real quick?
Yeah, no, I got you. You know what I mean? Yeah, the
All right.
bird.
Say
Um,
less.
and
Say
then
less.
there's another project that I had worked on.
Oh, make sure y'all go watch the movie, man. Please
Yeah.
make sure y'all go watch that. Drop the name again, man. Come on, you got a promo,
So,
baby.
so it's an oldie but goodie. It's the Wish and the Wisp.
Yeah.
We released it on YouTube. I think it was maybe like a couple months ago, but it was on film festival circuit for like 4 years. No lie. 88 awards.
Say it again. I couldn't even hear you. Say it one more time.
88 awards.
88.
88 awards.
Like an eight next to another eight.
Yeah, 88 awards. We
Eight,
was hoping to get 100, but that was overdoing it.
so
It's
eight
like
and then an eight. Okay, all right, 88.
and a 54. I think it's 55 or 56 nominations, and we've been in 175 film festivals worldwide. 175.
Listen, man. You the man. Well, no. You know what you told. You told me to let the people know that you the greatest. You the greatest. You the greatest.
I mean,
you the greatest. You the greatest.
In a fantasy game, I'll take that. In a fantasy game, I'm a hard one to beat.
I'm just saying, like my acting teacher really liked that, y'all. Like it's safe to say I'm learning the real deal shit.
You gotta come. Yeah, if you're in the fantasy, you gotta come at me because it's not. I got some stuff for y'all. So, but there's another project.
No, yeah, go ahead. I didn't mean to get you off track.
No, you good. I wanted to answer you because I don't give you nothing. But there's another project that it was created. I think it was back in 2020 or 2021 called the Death App, and it was supposed to get picked up. Things didn't fall through, so I took it back, rewrote it. It's now known as as AOD, the App of Death.
Okay,
and that should be a game changer. That I'm trying to bring to Philadelphia. We're trying to shoot out here just to bring some film back to the city. That joint's about a bullied teen that's like yearning for respect. and he downloads an app that allows him to kill without recourse, but he finds himself in a game of survival, kind of like it's like Final Destination,
Mm-hmm.
kind of meets like Hunger Games. So if you can put those two films together, that's what the Death app is like.
All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
That's what's up. It's interesting. It's an interesting concept. I'm
it's
nervous, but it's
it's
interesting.
badass. It's pretty badass. I would just say, like, if I could kind of put it in perspective, imagine if you was in a game,
Hmm.
right, with your cell phone against 10 other people, and the only way that you could win a game was to find out what their number was and send them something through the app. That means that it could be the old lady down the street, it could be the 7-year-old kid, it could be anyone, it could be a player in this game looking for you like you looking for them. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, I need to see that one.
Yeah. Because the whole point of it is like most people, if you ask most people, like if you could think of somebody that did something really dirty to you, I'm talking about something like real dirty, like real dirt to you. And if you could get away with murking them without nothing coming back at you, would you do it? And then there's an app for that, right? It's the death app. So as long as you have this thought about doing this to someone, an app will appear on your phone that you can download in the app store. And when you download the app, it'll allow you to do that thing. But when you do that thing, it's going to require something back from
Can we say what that is?
you.
Because now I'm
it,
intrigued. I'm intrigued now.
it's going to require you to play that game. So that's kind of like your payment for it doing,
Oh, all right. So okay, so if you download the app and you know what I mean, you put your request in or whatever,
and it comes
then
through,
then
you're automatically enrolled
then
into
then you then you win the game. So if
now you
somebody call your number, then
yeah. So the other 10 players, so it's 10 players, and out of the 10 players, you're one of them.
right.
Each of the players, your goal is to find another player and take out as many players as you can, so that you're the last man standing.
Like the Hunger Games, like you said.
Exactly. Yeah. Except
Okay.
it's all cell stuff. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and you have to send it a request, kind of like a text message, through the app. Now there's some other stipulations to the game. Some of the stipulations is like if you break your phone, you die. If your phone runs out of power, you die.
And you better keep that charger.
Charge on board. Which is funny because there's a scene. One of the most, I think, one of the coolest scenes in the film is one of the actors or the characters in the film named Trey,
Mm-hmm.
that lets you know what's going on in this film, comes racing into the lunchroom during class time, and he is like asking everybody. He's like, "Yo, I need a charger. I need a charger." And he's like running up to people. He's like, "Yo, give me a charger." And they're like, "Yo, chill, like relax." So he's like, "You don't understand. I gotta charge my phone." And he got like this little bit of life on his phone left, and he's like running up to tables and stuff, and nobody gives him. And he's just like in the middle of the lunchroom. He's like, "Yo, y'all don't get it. You don't understand." And then when his phone dies and powers off, my man just lays out on the floor, and that's just a wrap for him. So
Damn.
yeah. So it's tough, man. But I've been working on this thing for a minute. It's been my heart because I'm a fan of horror.
Mm.
Obviously, like we talked about in the beginning of the podcast, this is featuring African Americans
Right.
leads. You know what I'm saying? So the lead of the movie, who's Dylan, his friend was the bully teen, that decided to use the app
Mm-hmm.
because he was being bullied at school. And after he got enrolled into the game, Dylan found out, and when he seen his friend pass away, he was like, "All right, well, how did he pass away?" He found out about the app, so he wanted to figure out what happened,
Mm-hmm.
and wound up getting enrolled into the game himself.
Mm.
Now he's kind of like trying to figure out how to survive this thing, as best as he can, before time runs out.
Okay. So as much as I want to ask more questions about it, I ain't gonna ask no more questions about it.
So no, it gets grimy. Like, I'll put it to you this way: the opening scene, I'll give this away. It's no big
All
deal.
right.
So the opening scene is when it's pretty much, it opens you into like what happens when somebody does send you a death text. And the opening scene, there's a party, a high school party, and kids are out playing. And this one girl named Melissa, is just kind of sitting on her phone, like scrolling through
Mm-hmm.
TikTok and her apps, and her death text comes in.
Mm-mm.
And on the corner next to her, her dad is, barbecuing. And she stands up and she walks over to the barbecue pit. She takes the gasoline for the thing, pours it on herself, and then puts both her hands inside the barbecue.
Mm.
Her hands and head inside of.
That's
So
how it start.
that's how it starts, just to let you know that if someone send you that work,
Hey man.
you're gonna get that work, and you have no control over it. Like you have no control over what they send you. What they send you, your body is forced to do.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
All right.
So
All
this
right.
it gets crazy. Now here's the
I need to
worst
see this
part.
shit.
Here's the worst part, right? Because you might think to yourself, I'm just not going to play it, right?
Right.
It's not the case. So immediately after you download the app, all the contacts in your phone go into someone else's phone. And you are required every hour, hear me out, you're required every hour to choose somebody from that person's contact list to die. So let's say, for instance, I'm playing it and you're playing it, right?
Right.
I have your contacts, you have my contacts, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm an asshole, what do you think the first one I'm gonna pick is gonna be?
I don't even want to say it.
I know what it is.
I know what it is. I
I
don't
know
even
what it
want to
is.
say it.
Either mom or dad.
Right.
You know it. You know what it is. You know what time it is.
That's
So,
oh man, that's dirty, man.
that's what keeps you playing the game is that, like, yeah, you can bullshit as long as you want, but just know when that hour comes, I'm picking somebody out your contacts. Like, it's happening. I know somebody's picking something out of my contacts, so I'm gonna pick yours.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, man.
So it's a game that forces you to play it, whether you want to play it or not. So yeah, now your phone is your life. Like, your phone is your life.
This why you this why you.
This is 80. This is what we're trying to change the game. We're
No,
trying
listen, I'm
to bring
rocking
people
with
to the
you.
table.
I don't want to be in it. I don't
Yeah,
want to be in
I don't
this
think
one,
you want to be in this one.
but but I'll
This one
support
gets
you.
crazy. Yeah, and keep in mind, like I said, I'm giving you little hints. Anyone that has a phone can play this game. Anyone. So anyone. I'm gonna just put it to you like that. You can
Don't you
you
be
can
giving these
take
people
that.
no ideas, man.
I'm just saying, if you got a little brother and he got a phone, it don't matter how old he is. Like,
Yo,
it's open house.
this is
Yeah,
I ain't talking about this no more.
it's cool. You know what I mean? Hey man,
It does sound really, really good, though. That sounds really, really
now
good.
I have one more for you. I'll give you this one is another one we're trying to bring to Philadelphia. It's
All
called
right.
Dating Mr. Claus, and pretty much what it's a fantasy slash romance. I know like, but it's pretty much about it's about a mom that whose husband died of cancer. He was in the military, and he left behind a small child. So now she's a widow, and her mother wants her to get back in the dating game. And her mother is obviously like a young, frisky type of mom who's like still
Right.
out there. And so she keeps trying to tell her daughter, like, yo, like, download this app. It's called Cupid's Love. Download it. So her daughter finally eventually downloads the app, and not even knowing it, winds up dating the son of Santa Claus. So it's a really cool romance story about like a fantasy.
Can I be in that one?
You probably could, bro. You probably could be in that. But it's cute because people like the Santa Claus in the movie is obviously black. He has dreadlocks.
Right.
There's just the son of Santa Claus. He's a grown man, but the trick is that in order for him to take over the position of Santa Claus, he has to have a Mrs. Claus. So he has to get married in order to be able to take the position of Santa Claus from Santa Claus. And in his world,
This is
where
why
there's
you.
nothing,
This is why you were you, yo. This.
in his world, right, in the fantasy realm, where he is, Cupid exists. Except Cupid doesn't want to be Cupid anymore, because why be Cupid and fly around and do it when you can have an app?
Mm-hmm.
So Cupid, the real life Cupid, actually created this app, and when Mrs. Claus realized that Sean Claus didn't want to look in the fantasy world for a wife, he wants a real woman. She decided to task her elves to go find him a love. And of course, the first person they went to was Cupid. And Cupid was like, "Look, I don't do that no more, but here's the
I
app."
got an ad for that.
Yeah, and that's how Sean and Destiny wound up meeting each other. Um, so now he has to kind of convince her because I
Yo.
want her to know, like, I'm royalty, like, look, I'm next to be Santa Claus. So all
Yo,
the
this is
yeah,
fire.
full black cast. You feel me? So like, it's again, we're taking the kind of stuff that you would see somewhere else, and we're saying we can do this.
No,
We
I ain't
can
gonna
do
hold
it.
you. I ain't gonna hold you. The way you just explained it, like that shit sound like Coming to America meets Shrek.
I
That's
couldn't.
that's what it
That was
sounds
one of
like.
the films on our pitch deck was coming to him. It was Coming to America meets Jingle Jangle.
Oh, all right, all right, all right.
So, but you nailed it. That's exactly what it is. Because of course, Sean has to come to our world.
Mm-hmm.
And he's never been there before. Like he's been in a fantasy world where there's nothing but fantasy stuff. So he's new to this whole environment. He don't know her. She's from New York. Like so, we again comedy ensues. But
Yes.
she's a doctor. She's a doctor, Nick. You know what I'm saying? She don't work at Walmart.
No, right, right, right.
Anybody, but she's a sister doing well for herself. She
Mm-hmm.
wasn't looking for, so again, take our people, let's just put them in different situations so our kids can watch that and see, oh, there could be a black Santa Claus. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it could be, this is cool. Oh, there's black elves. Like, oh, this is different. This is unique. But we don't have to wait for Disney to do it.
Right.
We don't have to wait for Marvel to do it. We can do it
Mm-hmm.
now.
That's why he's the GOAT, ladies and gentlemen. So okay, so I've been asking you a ton of questions
Yeah, I
all
want to
day.
ask you a question. So,
Yeah, come on. Yeah,
what type of
talk to me,
movies?
man.
What
To me.
type of movies does Jetpack want to say? This is what I'm trying to say. What type of movies have you been watching, and what type of movies do you expect, or what do you expect to see in the future?
I
Let's
don't even want
flip the script. You know what I'm saying?
to tell you.
So you might be like, I loved House Party. You might be like, I love
Nah,
House. Like I
nah,
need to know where you at. You on left or right?
nah. So, hmm.
Yeah.
So I be watching like
Did you rush to see White Men Can't Jump? Like, is that what you wanted?
the new one.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no,
Hey,
I'm not. All right, all right. Hold on. I can't. See that now you're gonna be shitting on people. All right, I'm not. But this goes back to the conversation that we had before when I asked you how much can you do with film and TV when you keep remaking the same things. All right, regardless. Um, I
Especially you as an actor. Like, where
right,
do you see
right.
your career going?
This is very true. So, okay, so what I've been watching recently, or what I enjoy watching, I like romantic comedies.
Huh? Hey, keep it real.
Romantic comedies is my joint. Like,
So
and
you would date Mr. Claus to Cat.
that's why I'm trying to get in the that's why I'm trying to get in the movie.
Okay, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm looking for love, man. It's like no. It's like no.
Take me on the Steve Harvey for a second.
No,
Go with
no.
that,
So
buddy.
so
Okay.
I've been watching romantic comedies, but they kind of just be like movies that I just enjoy putting on because it just passes the time, and
Mhm.
they be like corny funny.
Yeah.
So
Do you
that's
watch
what
the
I
old
normally watch.
joints or new joints? There's
No,
one
like
that
I
got
watch. So I'll be watching like the uh late late 2000s, early 2010s.
Oh, you gotta go back further than that, big.
No, I know. So okay, so like I watch what I like to call white comedy movies.
Okay. Bro, it's our comedy, but it's okay.
No, right. I was saying
Yeah, but
I'll be watching white
fair.
comedy. They like my like my comfort movies.
Mhm. Hey, I ain't mad at you.
Cause it just like they just be cool, like they just be cool movies. But I mean, I watch like I don't know, man. Like I'll be watching the action movies, but I also be watching. See, like now when I watch movies though, like I was just talking to somebody and we was talking about not being able to cut off our creative switch as we go through life, right?
Yeah.
And they were saying like, yeah, like when I watch TV or I watch commercials or whatever, like all I could think about is, like the ideas behind the marketing of whatever and everything. And I'm now that I'm like thinking about it and I'm talking about it, I can't like just watch movies like no more, just like
That's
watch
good.
them. But because now I'm thinking about like, how would I act in this movie? Or like how would I had, you know, did this role or whatever. So now when I'm watching those movies, that's all I can think about. So when we had these conversations, I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm ready to get back in front of the camera. Like being behind the scenes was cool, but I need
Yeah.
to get back in front of the camera.
You want to be in front of it. Have
Yeah.
you? So here's my next joint. So aside from the joint that you and your people are working on,
Mm-hmm.
what has prevented you personally from? Because you obviously, or do you feel yourself? Let me start over and run it back. Do you feel like you want to lead more into the comedy scene or just dramatic scene?
See, I don't know. All right. Matter of fact. Let me say this, right?
Definitely
Because
getting the questions asked.
no, that's
Gotta
cool.
come with
It's
an
cool.
answer.
I welcome this. This is what I asked for. So I welcome this. So not for nothing. We are doing monologues in class, right? We're doing
Okay.
monologues in class, right? So I think I told you I come from a theater background.
Yeah.
So whenever we would have like practices or whatever, I would always come in practice and I would always stand in the middle of the stage. Like it never mattered what anybody else was doing. I would always just walk in. As soon as I walk in, go stand in the middle of the stage and I would do the Denzel monologue from Training Day. Oh, you motherfuckers. All
Oh,
right.
God. Okay.
Okay.
You hate that, man. No, you hate
No, I
that.
know, right. That's why I didn't do it for our monologue in class.
Okay, good.
But I do it fantastically. Shouts out to Denzel. Come holler
Shout
at me
out
on
to
the HolloTalk
Denzel.
podcast, man.
Good. Yeah. You'd be surprised. He do stuff.
No, yeah. So I would do that, and when I think about it, I'm like, yo, I think I could do like roles like this. Like I think I could like tap
I think
into
you can
like
get there.
tap
I
into
think
that.
you can get there. Yeah.
Like I think I could tap into that. And I always thought like, like doing those roles would be cool, right? And then well, I don't know if what I'm about to say is what you was talking about earlier with the goal that I kept telling you I wanted to achieve. but
Probably yeah.
but for the people who don't know, my dream is to be on Power. Like this is my dream.
Put
That's
it
that's
out
what
there,
that's what you
man.
were talking about.
Somebody watching. Yes, somebody's watching right now. That's
My
like, I
my
can see
my, my
it.
dream is to be on Power. Power is my favorite TV show of all time, and I just need to be on Power. I need to be on it. Like I would bring so much charisma to
So what would be,
and already charismatic cast.
but what character though?
Like I like
See, that's the catch 22.
all right, but see like all right.
Character.
All right, like, I ain't gonna hold you.
You gotta manifest that, but you can't be wild with the
No,
manifester
that's a fact.
because it might
That's
just
why I'm
give you
thinking
an
about it
extra
right
role.
now.
We're talking
That's
about
why
a
I'm thinking
role
about
role.
it.
You're
All
talking
right,
about you're down to a role. What role are you?
like if I had to choose, like I mean, obviously I had to be in the game. I had to be. I had to be moving product.
So you want to be so you're a product mover. Can you
Yeah,
put
but
that
I'm gonna
role?
be,
Can you put
but
that?
I'm gonna be like rolling with the main characters. Like I'm gonna be a part of like the organization, if you will.
So you're gonna be one of them dudes.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is though, they better not kill me off. Cause they kill me off, somebody gotta fight me.
All right, so let's not threaten the writers. Number one. Number two, what's preventing you from finding that character, writing a monologue for that character, and then putting that online?
Nothing.
Putting on the Scully, the hoodie, and just doing a quick little, hey, look, the product not there, man. Like, I ain't got it. I can't help you with that. Or like hey, look, man, we gave Tony the money. Like, he ain't there.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
Like,
We got.
what's that? Like,
I'll tell you what. We got a few minutes, right? So we gotta
can I get the people to request that? Like, can
No,
we
I'm
like
listen. I'm
get
about to. You
that?
know what I mean? We
We don't know
listen.
where we don't know where that. I saw a cat say
We
that.
in class right now. We in class right now. This is improv. Let's go.
Okay.
Come on. Give me a line. Let's say I'm gonna do it. Come on.
Okay, so give me your character. So the shipment, you were supposed to deliver the shipment, right? You got 40 pounds of cocaine in your car. You're supposed to deliver it to me. You walking in the door because I didn't show up, and you pissed because I didn't show up where we were supposed to meet. So this is you. I'm at the table. I got my crew with me, right? You feel me? There's Tito, Slick Boy, Young Boy, and Rocky. Like we chilling. I'm at the table. This is me. I'm iced out. Like you just coming in. This is me. I'm at the table, my fam. What do you say to us? Which your line gonna be? Hey yo, where the fuck was y'all at? That's it. You can say it any way you want it. Give it to me 4 different ways. But your line is where the fuck was you at?
Hey, yo, where the fuck was y'all at?
Yeah, that's the line.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm at the table. This is me.
Let's get to it.
Let's go. All right. So like I said,
all right, so I can't laugh, right? I can't laugh.
I mean, no, this is for the you at the power audition.
All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. You ready?
So you let me know when you're ready, and then
I'm ready. I got 5 minutes, so I gotta be ready.
Gotta be ready. This is the power audition right here.
All right, let's go. Let's get to it.
All right, so I'm gonna say action, and then I'm gonna start talking to the crew, and then you come in the room and you deliver your line.
All right, let's go.
Okay. All right, here we go. All right, action. Yeah, man, because I told Tony he can kiss my black ass if he ain't like that shit, yo.
Where the fuck were y'all at?
Okay.
All right. I'll give you another one.
Give me like a little bit more like you was waiting 5 hours.
All right, let's go.
That was like you was waiting like a minute. Like this is like you've been waiting 5 hours. There's cops, like you have 40. Come on, like you have 40 pounds in your whip. You could have got caught up. That's that's automatic jail time.
All right. Say less. Let's get to it.
And then you come to my crib and I'm just chilling with my boys at the table eating chicken. And like you're not like, give me that. Okay.
All right, let's go.
All right. Action. So I told the bitch she can leave. She ain't like it.
Hey, yo, where the fuck were y'all at?
Okay. That's a little okay. We getting there. I need a little bit more. If you're gonna give me that, like give me the emotion when if you're gonna go there with the hand.
All right, let's go.
Okay. All right.
One more time. I got you.
You got 2 more. You got
two more?
Got 2 more. All right, here we go. All right, action. Yeah, man, because I told him like I ain't got cupcakes no more.
Where the fuck were y'all at?
Okay. One more.
All right, let's go.
This one, I'm gonna say, give me this one with everything. Like you pissed off.
Hold on. All right, I might have to stand up on this one. Hold on.
Let's do what you gotta do, man. Yeah, I mean, but this one, you actually, this is so in this scene, just to give you a little bit more reference, this is when you overstep your boundaries, right? Because I'm obviously the one, this is my whole block, this is my set, I've been doing this. You a newbie, but you mad. So this is like the scene where you like tell me how you really feel, and then I put you back in your place. But you gotta come at me enough to make me like, man, who the hell you think you talking to? Like, you know what I mean? So you gotta really make me feel like you just disrespected me in front of everyone.
All right. Well, what's your name though? I gotta call you by a name so I can like really.
Let me see. I'm gonna be Steel Toe.
All right, fuck it. Let's go.
Come on. You making fun of my name? Like you already messed. Like yes, I'm Steel Toe because I kick cats in the head.
All right. So I'm saying, all right. So can I freestyle my line real quick? I can freestyle my line.
Throw it at your way. Let's see your rendition.
Yeah, all right, let's go.
Okay, here we go. You need a couple minutes, or you
go? No, come on. We got 2 minutes.
Let's go. All right, hey, no rest of the casting director. This is for a power role. This will make or break you, kid. You know what I mean? Okay, here we go. You ready? All right, action. I was like, I don't care about that, man. Sometimes you gotta get that money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Hey. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. Where the fuck were you at? Oh. I guess your fucking steel toe was keeping you from walking and fucking finding me and almost got caught because you was taking too goddamn long. But no, I held it down and I fucking came here and I made sure the product was delivered without getting caught, by the way. So thank you. And you're fucking welcome.
Okay. Give him a little golf clap for that one. Okay. So what's stopping you from setting that up, that same situation with your crew and putting that on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, and saying, hey, power, look at your next boy.
That's a fact. You are absolutely right.
Like, what's nothing.
No, I ain't gonna lie. That was actually kind of cool. I
You
see. I ain't gonna
see,
lie though. I wish I could have did it like you know what I mean, like
but
with
I'm
body
saying
and
like
all
that's
that.
not even the audition. You can do this 100 times till you
No,
get it
for sure, for sure.
with your boys. Just put four cats at the table, have them with the chain, the chain hoodies, and then you just come in and just deliver
I'll be,
that.
I'll be like Nino Brown. I'm gonna say this and then we're gonna go on break. Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Look, it only take one, and you don't know who can see that. You might not be power, but you know what? It might be the next power.
That's facts.
Somebody from the next power might be like, grab that boy, grab him now.
All right.
Grab him.
And I am going to leave y'all on that. We will be right back for more of the HolloTalk podcast in a second. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with more of the HolloTalk podcast with Jetpack Nick and my guy Vashmere Valentine. Appreciate you for being with us still, my man.
Oh, yeah.
So before we left, you know what I'm saying? Like I was showing them why I'm gonna be a EGOT winner one day.
It's there, yo. It's gotta happen.
Showing them my little impromptu power audition.
Watching.
50, come holler at me, man.
You know what's up.
No, so I've been waiting to get to this part of the conversation because this was my introduction to you, and I am extremely interested in hearing what your experience has been as being my teacher for let's say the better part of 2.5 months, almost 3 months.
Yes.
Yeah, so feel free.
It's been interesting. One thing I can say is like, for you and of course all the students are part of the class has been really fun because you guys have been um really open to suggestions that we've been telling you guys and you guys have come with a mindset to learn, which has been really good. You in particular, I think you're taking a lot of the information that you're receiving and you're utilizing it. But one thing I always say in class too is I always tell everybody like you guys need to vibe with each other. You guys need to talk to each other. You guys need to be. This is a team. This is
Mm-hmm.
each other in. You naturally did that, but I still feel like there's some cats that still have that issue with doing that, or maybe they're kind of still living their own zone, or they're still trying to find people out and weed people out. Um, so I think for me, especially being, somebody that's trying to bring this to you guys within my own style and trying to make sure that you guys take this and move with it, a lot of you guys have been receptive to that, which is a lot different because I've had opportunities to teach college and stuff, and I've been like, no,
Right.
because typically those cats, they have their own thought processes on things and they want to argue with you. And I ain't got time for that. So working with you guys has been really up my alley because you guys are more open to what I'm trying to teach you and being like, oh wait, hold on, that does work. Yeah.
All right. So if I could just quickly share my experience so far at what class. So it's been more than I could have imagined, honestly. Like getting into the class, like I didn't think like we would be doing half the stuff that we done. Like we shot a whole movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't that wasn't on the brochure. You know what I'm saying? So that was a cool surprise to, be a part of bringing the film to life from the ground up. Um, you know, just the conversations that we have in class, um, not even just about acting, but just about what we're learning is applicable to life, like how it can be applicable to life, and just building that camaraderie with one another. Like you said, you are a, a a person who wants to build community and make sure that us in the classroom are building community. And I can say for myself, like I definitely took a liking to building those relationships with my classmates as well as my teachers.
Right.
And for that, I definitely want to say thank y'all. And thank you to my classmates too, because y'all make it worthwhile coming to class every week. So my experience. This is my first acting class too, by the way. So this has definitely been like a amazing journey. Like I've met so many amazing people along this journey, and I definitely can say that I'm better because of it.
That's and just to add to, like, for anybody else that's interested in doing something like that, try to work with people that don't see age, man. Because like I
That's a
said,
fact.
any of the cats that I work with can blow up at any moment. So if you start looking at people like, oh, they're either A, too old, or A, they're too young, you don't know where they're at in their experience. You don't know where they're at in their journey. So one thing that's why I try to just give you guys everything as much as I can now, because one of you cats could blow up tomorrow. So for me to try to be like, nah, he's not ready for that. That's not up to me to decide.
Right.
I'm just there to present with everything that I learned in my life and give it to you. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. All right. So, hmm, man, I to be honest with you, I can't thank you enough, man, for coming on the pod and just sharing the space and opportunity with me, just talking to me, laughing, we'll be having a good time.
No, I still
This
expect you to
is
do that
amazing.
that, that power joint though. That's
Oh
not.
yeah, no, for
I'm gonna
sure,
hold
for
you to that.
sure.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
I you already know. I got you.
All right, and
I
you'll
got
hold
you.
me to the
We gonna.
hold me to the wisp joint. I'm gonna hold you to that.
I
I
got
just
you.
got to go both ways.
I got you. Trust me, I got you. We gonna
Both
make it
ways.
happen. You you
Just
you
my
you you
God.
go you go see your power. They say this is a big rich town.
Look, like I said, it could be power. It
Or
could
the
be
next one.
it could be the next one. It could be anything. But as soon as you
Right.
push yourself out there and say, this is what I do and this is what I want, and you're specific about it, you can't help but to get it.
Yeah, and honestly, it was fun, like just doing that impromptu like audition, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
It was fun, like just
You said you love being in the front
improvising.
of the camera.
No,
You
yeah, I
can
mean,
be there whenever you want to.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was good, but we got to get to one of the more important parts of the conversation. So, as the listeners know, this is customary to the HolloTalk podcast. Uh, we need three gems about you, man. Three gems to take away from this conversation.
3 gems. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. That's a good one. All right. So I'm gonna say the difference between you making it and you not making it is you giving up. That's the first gem.
All right.
Second gem is gonna be know your job, do your job. That came from our mentor. Know your job, do your job.
Shouts
Whatever.
out to the mentor.
Jason Rogers, that's my
Shouts
boy.
out to Jason Rogers,
Yeah, aka the dude.
aka the dude.
Know your job, know your job, do your job. And man, a third one. If you plan on getting into this fantasy writing and sci-fi writing game, you better bring it, bro. You better bring it. You better come. You better come correct. Do your research, because there's some cats out here that's stacking.
He talking about himself, yeah. He
Stacking,
talking about himself.
stacking material. And I'm talking about like med books, the med books.
Hmm.
We got boxes. We got U-Haul boxes of this stuff. So comedies, fantasies, sci-fi, adventures. The titles are there. So come correct, yo. We because if you want to be a part of that, if you want to be a part of that family, just start preparing, because it's this next quarter coming up, you're gonna start seeing some stuff that you're gonna be like, damn, I want to be on that. I want to do that. Damn, I want to do that. I want to do that.
Right.
Yeah. It's gonna be crazy. So come prepared. Be prepared. Be prepared. Be prepared for what's coming.
All right. Well, y'all heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen, from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Vashmere Valentine. My brother, I can't thank you enough for talking to me. Just providing these gems, man, providing a fun time. Like I thoroughly, thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed this episode, man. Like for real. I start smiling since we've been on here.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? And I,
Yeah,
I want
man.
you, like I said, I hope that I hope that you obviously anything, and I will say that about you, anything I've told you, you have applied it.
Mhm.
And I hope that within this year you start to see like how it starts to play out. But I'm sure your fans will. So you know what I mean? I'm hoping that y'all, continue to help blow this cat up, because I'm telling y'all, he about good 3-4 months away from something. So you know what I mean? Y'all don't slip on him. If you see him out in your street, say what's up to him, get his number, get his contact, because you know what I mean, people don't be around for don't be able to be reached for long. You know what I
That's
mean?
a fact.
Number don't work. You know, sometimes that number and contact list don't work, and it's gonna be hard to get that new one.
Nah, real talk, man. But no, I truly just want to, just take this time and an opportunity to say thank you though, for real. Like, just for all the gems that you've given me, just all the game you've given me, and just just being a good mentor, a good role model for me, man. Like, I thoroughly appreciate it, and I don't want it to go unnoticed and unsaid, whether it's privately or publicly. So, you know, thank you for that, for real. It's all love from me to you. And I also want to give a big shout out to the HolloTalk podcast listeners and supporters for supporting us through and through, supporting me and supporting all of my guests that come on, this wonderful platform. We appreciate y'all for giving us that support and that love, you know. And again, thank you, man. I can't thank you enough, honestly, but thank you.
All day. I'm always here. You
All
feel me?
right, so I'm gonna get you out of here, man. It's been a pleasure. Peace and love, y'all.